Is this the fastest phone money can buy in India right now? This is the Realme GT 7 Pro, and with the blazing fast Snapdragon 8 Elite, it is expected to top performance charts all around. But does the speed lead to heating issues and battery concerns? Let's break that down and more in my detailed review. Before we get started though, consider hitting that subscribe button and helping us hit 400k subscribers. Let's get the specs out of the way. You can see them on your screen, pause if needed. The specs look top-notch with a few exceptions. That 8-megapixel ultra-wide shooter and a severely shrunk-down battery compared to the China variant. But let's put the specs aside and actually look at how the Realme GT 7 Pro performs in real world and benchmarks. Starting off with the build and design, although the specs check most boxes here, the look is a bit amateurish in my opinion. The bulky square camera module with these wave-like patterns on my Mars Orange review unit look a bit garish in my opinion. The design looks like it belongs on a cheaper 30k phone. The Galaxy Grey color variant also looks pretty plain Jane. However, you get a solid aluminum frame with micro-curved glass on the front and back that looks premium. The buttons are a bit soft when it comes to tactile feedback, but the ultrasonic fingerprint sensor is fast and accurate. It even lets you unlock the phone underwater, which is good since the phone has a dedicated underwater photography mode. The phone not only comes with IP68 protection, but also incorporates an IP69 rating that protects it against high-pressure jets of water, so the phone can be dunked in water up to 2 meters and can even survive torrential downpour like we get here in Mumbai. Additionally, there's Wi-Fi 7, Bluetooth 5.4 and support for 2 nano SIMs but no eSIM support. Overall, the phone's durable, but I really wish Realme had put more thought into the design. The Realme GT 7 Pro houses a gorgeous 6.78-inch LTPO AMOLED panel with 120Hz refresh rate. This size has become oddly prevalent on phones these days. It has a 1.5K resolution which equates to 450 ppi on the display, which is very good for the expected price, but a 2K display would have sweetened the deal further. This is also one of the brightest panels we've tested so far. In our brightness test, the display easily hit 1992 nits on high brightness mode under sunlight, so the panel is bright enough to view no matter what conditions you're in. It also comes with HDR10 Plus and Dolby Vision support, so content on Netflix and other OTT platforms looks stellar with exceptional colors and good dynamic range. As for refresh rate, the phone has an LTPO panel that in theory should be able to switch refresh rate intelligently from 1 to 120Hz, but in my test, it resisted switching to lower refresh rate stops nearly all the time. This will obviously impact battery life, so I really hope that Realme fixes this via an OTA update. Equipped with the latest 3nm Snapdragon 8 Elite chipset, the Realme GT 7 Pro blew past every single phone from 2024 in synthetic benchmarks. While it didn't quite hit the promised 3 million AnTuTu score mark, it managed to score 2.7 million, which far exceeds anything we've seen so far, including the Dimensity 9400 score on the new Oppo Find X8 Pro. The results were replicated in Geekbench and PCMark work, with the Realme GT 7 Pro producing scores never seen before on an Android smartphone. In fact, it soundly beat the iPhone 16 Pro Max in most of these tests too. GPU performance is also strong as seen in the 3D Mark and GFX Bench tests. The phone comes with UFS 4.0 and LPDDR5X ROM and RAM types, but Realme did cheap out by only providing a USB 2.0 port. Now, raw power aside, it was time to see the phone's sustained performance, whether it heated, throttled, yada yada. To check that, we ran the CPU throttling test for 15 minutes with 20 threads, and well, the phone did throttle quite a bit. In fact, its max performance and average performance were lower than the Oppo Find X8 Pro with the Dimensity 9400. However, in the 3D Mark Wildlife Extreme Stress Test, it showcased higher best loop score and lowest loop scores with higher stability, which indicates excellent GPU stability. But I did notice the phone getting extremely hot during this test. It touched a whopping 45 to 47 degrees Celsius. But surprisingly, during real-world gaming, the phone only got slightly warm after 1 hour of Genshin Impact at 60 FPS. So what Realme has done is make the phone push to the max during benchmarks to get these high scores, but when you're gaming, it keeps the performance to heating ratio in check. In GT mode though, it really does push for performance, which causes the phone to get toasty after about half an hour of gameplay. Now the phone has a couple of AI features too for gaming which are quite interesting. There's Frame Plus that uses game frame interpolation to achieve 120 FPS gameplay on certain games like Genshin Impact. And there's also AI Super Resolution that boosts the graphics to 1.5K in a few games like Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail. Now when it comes to performance, the Realme GT 7 Pro is surely a beast. It handles games like Genshin very smoothly with nice and smooth gameplay, but if more intensive games become popular on Android, it may struggle with heating and throttling. The Realme GT 7 Pro runs the latest Android 15 with Realme UI 6.0 on top, which is pretty much a sibling of ColorOS. The company promises 3 years of OS updates and 4 years of security updates, which is on the lower side in the world of flagship or flagship killers. The UI looks nice and the animations are exceptionally fluid. The software comes equipped with a roster of AI features including sketch to image, which works surprisingly well, and AI Ultra Clarity to boost the clarity of shots. AI Motion Deblur is also coming soon, but it wasn't available at the time of testing. AI Smart Loop with File Dock is also incredibly useful to seamlessly move around images or text. Given that the phone has a powerful processor, we ran several AI benchmarks on the phone to see how it held up, and it got a respectable Digit AIQ score of 65 out of 100 in our tests. Now cameras aren't exactly the Realme GT 7 Pro's strong suit. It has a 50 megapixel main camera, a 50 megapixel 3x telephoto shooter, and an 8 megapixel ultra-wide camera. The ultra-wide camera is not befitting a flagship phone, and the results, as you can see, are mediocre in indoor settings and low light. Even outdoor, the detail levels are nowhere close to flagship performance. The other two 50 megapixel cameras though perform pretty well in good lighting. The primary camera gives solid results in daylight with good colors and decent dynamic range. Portraits look good too, however, edge detection and exposure control could be a bit better. Close-up shots look incredible though, with amazing natural bokeh. 3x zoom shots also have good clarity and high detail. In fact, zooming up to 6x will also yield good results. Low light photos is where these cameras lose the plot though. There's quite a bit of noise introduced and the sharpness levels drop significantly. The 16 megapixel selfie camera once again works decently in daylight but suffers from noise in low light. As for video, you get 8K at 24 FPS, but the footage looks very jittery. 4K at 60 FPS on the other hand looks good, but the dynamic range is mediocre. Which phone should I compare the Realme GT 7 Pro's cameras with? Put it down in the comments. The Realme GT 7 Pro is facing a lot of backlash in India owing to the fact that the battery capacity has been shrunk down by 700 mAh compared to its China counterpart. The Indian unit will only feature a 5800 mAh battery, which is significantly smaller than the 6500 mAh cell that's available in China. And our review unit also had the 6500 mAh cell, which is why all our tests for battery life are effectively null and void. What I can tell you is that with the 6500 mAh cell and the power-hungry Snapdragon 8 Elite processor, I got about a day and a half worth of juice from my review unit. So with the smaller 5800 unit, you may get only about a day of battery life or even lesser. Charging is fast thanks to the included 120 watt charger in the box. My 6500 mAh unit charged from 0 to 100% in just 36 minutes. Wireless charging is missing though, which is a shame. Look, all things said and done, the Realme GT 7 Pro is definitely a flagship killer. At the time of shooting this video, we don't know the exact price, but we expect it to be between 60 to 65K without offers. At this price, it will be a monstrous performer and allow users to experience flagship speeds and power for a fraction of the price. Yes, there are a few shortcomings. The battery is smaller, the phone heats during intensive tasks, and the 8 megapixel ultra-wide camera just feels out of place on a flagship or even a flagship killer. But the speed, fluidity and power you get on this phone is one of the best you can find on the market right now. If Realme prices this aggressively, it could be the flagship killer of 2024 and 2025. What do you think? Will you be getting yourself one? Drop a comment and let us know. See you in the next one. Torrential downpour like we get